great inspirational music from Dinah Entry Hamilton. She's a nurse, but based in the United Kingdom, UK, Abuchi, Maine. Please get interactive. On Facebook, we have JoyNews on TV. It's our regular page there. And also, you can watch us live regularly on YouTube, My Joy Online TV. And I have Kofi here, celebrated his birthday, I believe, over the weekend. Was it on Saturday or Sunday?
Or Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. Okay. So you had some great sugar drinks? Because I'm not sure you drink beer, do you?
I avoided drinks entirely because I was down with cold, so I couldn't.
Oh, sorry. I'm told, no, but normal, maybe you should have taken some citrus, fresh smoothie or something.
Some ginger tea.
Yeah.
Ginger tea would have been okay.
Ginger tea.
Yeah, would have been okay.
Right, so it was all cool and a solemn period.
Yeah, I was actually in the office. I mean, even though a party was organized.
That's the life of the journalist, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's
so who and who were here with you?
My team, Abla and Adele, all the others were present in the office.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
But congratulations to you on chalking another feat. All we need is live, because with live we can do so many things.
I agree.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Maps.
Yes.
Over the weekend, how was it for you?
It was good. The rains, closed down.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, the rains. I went for dance lessons. So that was good. I kept
asking you. I know the dance lessons, usually we have salsa and the rest. I don't know about local dance lessons like...
I went for some Afro beats
and all that.
You know
how to dance the guara guara?
Here's the thing. I don't have an inch. I don't have a dance gene in me. So I have to go fetch it wherever.
All your body rhythms are just terrible.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to do the newspapers.
All right. So let's start with the Daily Graphic. And on page 16, Anas reports Kwesi Nyantakyi to FIFA. Let's see if we can get a bit of that story. Now, the video has been labeled in some circles as bigger than the judicial scandal. Already, some administrators of football have dared Anas and his team to come on with their so-called expose and visits. Mr. Nyantakyi has so far reported himself twice to the police in the company of his lawyer. So that's a bit of the story. Anas reports Kwesi Nyantakyi to FIFA.
But it means that when Anas does an investigative piece, he tries also to initiate some actions?
Yes, in fact, in the judge's case, he was the one who petitioned the president for the removal of the judges.
Okay.
So he again had to appear before the committee to lead evidence against each of the judges he had petitioned for their removal. And I was telling someone last week that maybe this is what Anas is actually wants to do, and not the case of getting Kwesi Nyantakyi in jail, like people may be thinking. Because for FIFA and CAF, we know that there are issues of ethics. When you are in leadership role, you need to conduct yourself in a certain manner. So perhaps the entire investigation may not necessarily be with the aim of, getting
somebody in jail,
but maybe
with the aim of the whole
getting him out of the
scene of football administration.
And that is.
And then we also know that we shouldn't forget Anas is also a lawyer, a trained lawyer. At least he knows his stuff. He knows how to go about his. But he's been occupying the media airwaves for the last...
He wrote something on Friday, very
lengthy thing,
explaining why he decided to go into this. And in simple terms, he was talking about how a lot of people who are football administrators, they give their all, they want the game to be fair, yet people do things off the pitch that end up influencing the game on the pitch. And he thinks that it was time that he went in there to ensure, and he concludes by saying that the entire foundations of Ghana football will collapse. And
I have a friend, he's the founder for, it's called the Press Foundation also, Lister Wabukasim. If you're watching us, good morning to you. And he's a very good friend to Anas. I know Anas was my 1 year in school, a senior to me, so I also know him very, very well.
I see.
And he's always been like that, but now he's taken it to the next level. But it's gotten everybody a bit cringy. Especially beyond Kwesi Nyantakyi, people don't know whether they are in or not. And that's a fear.
Yesterday I heard Kenneth Japan say that, Anas needs to be stopped from showing a video, else he may end up in people's
bedrooms.
Are you scared yourself, Maps?
Oh, no, I'm not.
No.
No.
Because the fear is that, he may get out of hand and,
Oh, really? No, but we have laws that protect people's reputations and integrity. The thing is, as far as this form of journalism practices, if it is in the public interest, then, and we have many scandals in history.
But the concern is that unlike other forms of or other investigative journalists, that go out to try and film crime. Anas goes out baiting people, hoping to catch them commit crime. That is taking his bait.
Okay.
So
But I'll say
is
that if
the
you
bit
know
of
you
the
don't
difference.
commit, if you have certain principles and values, there's no way if you come and bait me.
It will entice
Yeah.
you.
But people say that everyone has a price. Maybe you've not seen your price yet. Maybe that's the only bait that person.
Some
will
people have
ever be
pride,
offered
so
with.
maybe you just have to identify that. No, but I don't think if you're in public office, you hold public office, and I believe that being the boss of a football club or a football association or wherever you find yourself, even occupying this position, wherever, I should have certain
Principle.
moral grounds by which I would say I don't want to conduct myself in a certain way. And those are the codes by which our society also stands by. And if I should flout them, I don't think that people will be so forgiving, would they? That's the whole point.
I think it's just a reminder we all have to be as good as we can.
Yeah, we're not saying that I don't know.
We're
If I
holier
was
than
in
thou.
anybody's position in that video, I don't know how I would have acted.
If someone is offering you a bribe this morning, you may never know that may be enough.
Yeah,
You just have to be careful.
yeah.
All right. And other stories on the Daily Graphic. The Ghana card registration takes off, and that story is on page 3. So registration for the National Identity Card begins in the Greater Accra region today. So IDs required for registration, a statement issued. So it said one of the amended provisions concerned the identity documents required for registration and issuance of the Ghana card. So you need your voter's card. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, so it doesn't tell us what we need. But have you registered? Are you going to register?
Not yet. We are told that the first phase is for the big man. The big man.
Yeah,
the big man.
President.
I'm sure Roland will be captured in there.
As one of the big
Why
men.
you and I,
It's a-
yeah.
it's a
We're
big
not,
man,
we've not
yeah.
been mentioned.
It's a big
They
man.
didn't say members
Roland
of
is a big
the
man.
GJ or the media fraternity. So
You fall within it somewhere. I mean, among the
no, I
big
don't
men.
work. I think it's the Flagstaff House, the
So
president,
the
Yeah.
judiciary.
judiciary.
We are told
legis-
former presidents will be given special treatment.
Great, great, and they should be so appropriately.
But we understand it's taking place in Greater Accra for about 3 months before they move to the other regions because
And they will
the
end up
population.
finally at the Greater Accra
Yes,
too.
they'll
That's
come
how
back,
it is
yeah.
for the entire region one, but this one is just for the initial one. So.
And on page 60, Africa Rising Reloaded, advertising industry to converge, Accra Today, and page 85, Embrace NAPCO program.
Okay.
And at the back, it's just Daily Graphic Sports,
About
Kotico
all
Hearts.
that. We'll have
struggle
Benedict
to
come and give us
qualify.
the latest
Yeah.
as far as that is concerned.
On the front page of the Daily Guide, there is Professor Kwesi Botwe. He's Ghana's longest serving finance minister. We are told he has entered the race to contest as flag bearer of the NDC. Just a bit of that story. It says it is increasingly becoming clear that former finance minister under the J.J. Rawlings administration, Professor Kwesi Botwe, is gearing up to contest the position of flag bearer for the opposition NDC. Daily Guide is reliably informed that Professor Botwe, who is Ghana's longest serving finance minister, is fast catching the eyes of the NDC founder, former President Jerry John Rawlings, who is believed to prefer any candidate apart from former President John Dramani Mahama. Professor Botwe, he led the election review committee of the NDC.
They went around the country, we're told.
Yeah.
They collated views. They collected recollections of people as to what may have resulted in the NDC losing the elections, and we're told that that white paper is supposed to be implemented by the executives of the NDC.
What do you make of him? I mean, if it's actually true that
I think that he's got the right integrity. The thing is, we want leaders who will inspire people, but also be selfless. For me, that's what I say all the time, and that's what perhaps maybe the West, they do better than us. We have billions of dollars that come into inflows that come into our economy, and you are never going to find the same thing as far as the pattern of development is if you compare the way we develop to the West, or even the emerging Asian countries, and that's a problem we have. We're not truthful to the citizenry, and that's what we need to do. We all need to be truthful. So we need leaders like that.
Yeah, I think we wish him well, Dr. Botwe. We'll see how that goes. Army sacks 17 recruits, comes along with a photograph of Lieutenant General Obed Boama Akwa. He's the CDS. And Imani in bed with telcos, PNF alleges that story about this monitoring agreement, and I mean, it comes as no surprise when you raise issues, people will accuse you of something.
Yeah, I thought that, I don't know, some of the protagonists in all this, Imani was their good friend, so I was thinking that maybe when Imani raises something, they should rather sit up and say, oh. But we'll discuss all that. Georgianda is Nenyi is a deputy minister of communication, so I guess it puts things into perspective when he's leading the discussions on this.
But that story about the army sacking some 17 recruits, it says information reaching Daily Guide indicates that the Ghana Armed Forces has sacked 17 recruits who are undergoing training at the Army Recruits Training School at Shah Hills in the Greater Accra region. They said they are among several others. They were said to have failed their basic fitness test on Thursday, May 24, 2018, and were made to leave the school on Saturday. An official is quoted as saying that if you cannot pass ordinary physical fitness test, then you are not qualified to be there. We won't recruit people who cannot stand the testament of time for the public to start questioning our integrity and how we went about training. Never. And that is what.
Maps, what do you think? Do you think that if you want to, if you want to be in the army, you should know how to
stand the test?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because I mean, the army training is more rigorous than the other security. We have to be truthful.
Yeah.
And they even retire early because you always have to be strong. So they don't want
strong and healthy
weak men and women in there. Well, we're not in the army, so it means we're weak, right? Just a
comparatively. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think so. Comparatively, really? I mean, if we are fitter than the guys in the army, then I agree with the quote. They don't have any business being there.
Being in the army, okay.
Okay.
Do we have any other stories there?
It says Alliance Life is here.
Oh, okay, no, that's okay. That's too commercial in nature for us to review, so we'll review. But let me look at the Herald newspaper. The Herald newspaper has on the front page, Attorney General clears a merry deal of corruption. And Joseph, this was a subject of contention, especially when it was being signed during the NDC era. And when the MPP came, they had said, I think it was a main campaign issue.
Yeah.
Well, not officially, but unofficially on the campaign platforms. And now we're told that the Attorney General has cleared the Mahama administration of any wrongdoing regarding the contractual agreement it entered into with Africa and Middle East Resources Investment Group, Ameri Energy, which provided 230 megawatt power plant to the country. The Herald says it is informed that Gloria Kufuor, in a legal opinion sent to the Minister of Energy, said the previous government acted in good faith in the execution of the $510 million project, considering the prevailing circumstances.
I find that interesting. You recall earlier, that is why the front page story has a photograph of Philip Addison.
Yes. Because
Philip Addison, you are told, chaired a committee that was set up by the minister.
They even went to Dubai.
Yeah, very good. You recall the issues were raised about who was sponsoring that trip, and
we were told that the party
sponsored. They went to meet them, and that opinion that we saw suggested that something had gone wrong. But now the head of the government legal team, according to Herald, is telling us that nothing did go wrong. I find it a bit inconsistent.
Well, the thing is that at the time the deal went through Parliament, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So
in fact, Honorable Katie Amond has a motion before Parliament asking Parliament to rescind its approval of the agreement. So it's had parliamentary approval.
He's been quiet since, though.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Ghana's Men's Gold International. We're told that they've opened a branch in Madrid, Spain. Men's Gold, they sell gold. They've had difficulty with the Bank of Ghana issuing statements officially and unofficially on public platforms that, well, they shouldn't be taking deposits. And they've rebutted by saying they don't take deposits. I think there is a good... Other countries, they sell gold too. You can have a storehouse of gold, have an account, let's say a box in which you keep your gold and all that. That's what they do. I think it's worth an investment, especially in India. It's a very popular financial transaction.
It appears Men's Gold, they are really expanding. I mean, opening various branches in other parts.
I think I would want to try that investment and see how it goes.
But they should also pay attention to the issues of the local regulation and concerns being raised by the BOJ. I think even though it's good for them to expand, they must also be concerned about the confidence people within the country have in them. And I think it's something that they should work on.
Well, we'll try and speak to Derek Okorsam, who's our lead producer, and then to see whether we can get officials of Men's Gold to speak to them. What really do they do? And we'll say, MP fumes at colleagues over absenteeism. He says there's lack of seriousness in Parliament. And it's not the first time. But other stories we find in the Herald, it says Visa, you know Visa? Visa,
Yeah.
MasterCard Visa. They've
Yeah.
stopped Morgan Freeman's commercials because now 8 women have come forward accusing him of sexual harassment.
The first time I saw the story, I just thought of Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
It's like,
Similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a big guy. Morgan is very respected. I mean,
Very respected. I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's one of the
he's
guys.
God,
that
you know.
people-
he
Yeah,
plays
yeah,
God
I
and
like
almost-
it.
Yeah,
I like it.
like
I like it.
even social media was saying that even God is capable of sexual harassment in that manner because he plays God in most of his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
And
him in
yeah,
one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played Mandela in Invictus, and I loved him so much because his accent and all that replicated how Mandela speaks. So, and over the weekend I watched that movie too again.
I'd have to disagree on that one.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm speaking from the international
I understand.
audience.
I understand. Yeah.
I'm not talking about you local.
I'm just
because
saying.
there's the Nigerians and the South Africans. They never agree on the way the language is spoken or the dialogue is, and all the movies that tend to depict personalities from those countries.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to play a great hero like Nelson Mandela, then choose a great South African actor.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
understand?
that I agree.
Yeah.
That I
So
agree.
it's because of
That I
like
agree.
funding and.
No, the thing
eyeballs,
too
but-
is that the houses, the movie houses, they want to get their money back. So
Makes sense,
Like
but-
Wakanda. Oh no, sorry, Black Panther. I feel they should have used more African leads, but they feel that they will not be commercially successful.
Yeah.
And that's a bottom line when you're making the decision. As the millions that you're pumping in 150 million, 200 million. Our parliament, NDC and NPP, they will fight for 2 months just to approve $200 million. But they use it for one movie, and they have to get that money back. You understand?
I understand.
You have to
but-
get that money back in 3 months. You know, yeah. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But I think that'll be it for now.
Okay.
The Ghanaian Times has this story about the CID getting clearance to interrogate Anthony Kabo today. He's a deputy minister of roads and highways. He was, we are told, he's mentioned in the ANAS expose by Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, and he used to appear before the CID today. I don't know what Roland you think of that. I mean, any day CID is still looking into the matter.
Yeah. Cabo was it's a good acquaintance. So we don't know. We just have to wait. He's an MP, and we know all the things that have been talked about, how MPs' immunity need to be protected. But once the clearance has been sought, there's nothing that stops the CID, right?
Yes, they can. I mean, engage him. It's early days. They're still gathering information.
You have some other stories in there? Or
The other one, Ghana implements its lost rulings. There's a photograph of the senior minister, Osafoma, for there.
and basically, ITLOS is the International Tribunal on the Law of the Sea.
Let's see. Yes, you recall this dispute with Côte d'Ivoire over the extent of our boundary. We are told that, I mean, what they are trying to do now is they are implementing it. So they've identified which areas belong to Ghana, and more importantly, they are trying to assure investors that, I mean, we've got the decision in our favor. You can come down with your investment, because earlier there were some fields in the area that we couldn't even give it out to people simply because of the dispute.
Yeah.
But now that it's over, Ghana looks to be trying to
people
cash in.
can see whether we can give those blocks out. We'll see how that goes.
All right, so let's quickly do the finder. And ACIL calls for investigative journalism fund. That story is on page 5. So the executive director of the Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, William Nyako, has called for the establishment of a grant fund for journalists to support investigative journalism and enhance the media's effectiveness in the fight against corruption. He said in order to make any meaningful headway in the fight against corruption, there was the need for an independent fund that journalists can access to fund their investigative works.
I think I agree. I mean, people have asked questions about who funds analysis work, for instance. And the danger is that when people, you get your funds from private sources sometimes, it may end up influencing you.
You might have to protect them if
So what
they
do you get
somehow deal with corruption.
what should you
He's calling for a fund of a sort to be set up so
Okay.
that journalists can access it.
and then that fund, who will be funding that fund?
So it has to come from
someone.
It has to come from somewhere. If it's
Yeah.
coming from government, so government can subject any investigation to influence, or I can argue that way. If it's coming from private sources, look, they are interested parties, if we look at it on earth, anywhere on the globe. So, I don't know. Well, however, he's being funded. The thing is, the outcome of his work is an impact in society. Those are some of the things that we have to take a look at. It's controversial, though. Okay.
All right, and on page 4, 968 robbery-related cases recorded in first quarter. And on page 10, Ghana requires 8% economic growth in 10 to 15 years. This is from Dr. Yamson. And 332 chase NAPCOP jobs. So it says 32,060 applicants yet to submit application as Friday, June 1 deadline approaches.
I say. We want to recruit how many? 100,000.
100,000 and
Yeah.
And the recruit,
141.
and they have 141,332 applicants yet to submit. Okay. Okay. It means it's been saved on the database but not been submitted.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes with that. We're told it's for graduates, those who have diplomas and HND and the rest to apply.
NAPCO is certainly a hot cake. I mean, 141,000.
700 Ghana. It's for 700 Ghana cedis a month for 3 years. Wow. We'll see how that goes. Once it's not subject to abuse, I think that's where we have to go. Well, we have the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page Kweku Baako on President Anas, BBC and Safakai. We also have Nyantechi's case will be very bloody, according to lawyer. I won't stay in heaven with Kufuor and Mahama, JJ Rawlings. He's been speaking hard over this weekend. We're told that he has some. We had some visitors. I'm told he had some visitors and then he decided to go haywire. He even talked about the Volta region, the NDC not being good to the Volta region. The Daily Dispatch, the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. So it's all there.
I think people are also, concerned, especially the bit about the Volta region.
Yeah, because he'd been in power
19 years. I mean,
in summation, 19 years.
19 years, and people are raising concerns that if there is any individual,
he's been the longest serving head of state.
He's had, and in fact, what we need to identify about the 19 years is that, save the 8 years, he was a total dictator. He controlled everything.
Since 1981.
Yeah.
To
1992, then 92 to 2000.
Even the 92 cry transcended into 93. I mean, the dawn of the ushering.
Yeah. So people are starting to ask questions about whether Mr. Rawlings should not be subjected to the same standard that he wants to subject all leaders to, and what will be his own scoring if we subject him to that. Because if he's complaining about the NDC not doing much in Volta region, the question is, you served longer. What did you do for Volta region? And I feel the former president, with all due respect, sometimes he speaks a lot. I feel he can be a bit more measured, especially how clearly he had visitors. It's very typical. People visiting me and he attacked someone else.
I don't know what Kufuor has done to him. Lawyer Duji Tamaklo had a reply for him on his Facebook page, a long one. I read it just done before coming on air. Anyway, but that'll be it.
So
let's do the last one.
Crusading guide. It says arrest, prosecute, Anas Udike takes issue with his style of investigation. What is interesting is that it's been reported by the New Crusading Guide, owned by Kweku Baako. We know that Anas also works at that particular place too. So this is interesting. The paper still going ahead to give it that prominence.
I think that it may be given a prominence in amusement, so to speak. Yeah. Sometimes you're amused by such an utterance. I watched the video. I think he was in a studio of one of the stations in Kumasi. That's when he was highlighting that point.
I see. Why I probed GFA is also coming from an Anas, that's right up that we spoke about earlier. And plot against Afenya Market exposed. Suppliers gang up against Ghana Water Board chair for sanitizing system. That story is also on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
All right, so let's move on. We have to take a break. But good morning to you. This one is coming from Eric Mensah Oklu of the Hoga Clinic in Akachi, and it says, happy birthday to Dr. Nedafeva Ayi Bisa of Tamale Teaching Hospital. Good morning to you. He says, we are at the Akachi Hoga Clinic. Wish you well. May you live to be 100. Now let's look at myjoyonline.com. Mapitso, what's that for us?
All right, so let's go to NIA $1.22 billion registration project completely unreasonable.
Oh, that's how much we're spending? 1.2 billion US dollars. Anyway, how much did Wakanda get at the box office? Just in 3 months.
They got more than that.
More than that.
That will be. Anyway, so let's move on.
And Italian president faces impeachment. Some international news on my drawing line. And the prisoner officer, forgotten engineer of your sound sleep. A few months ago, Ghana experienced a dark period of increased robbery, resulting in public fear and insecurity. And Akable, what do we have here?
Minority to intensify push for U.S. ambassador to brief House on planned deportation. So we are told that the minority members on Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee are intensifying their push for the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, to be summoned before the House. So that is what they asked. We'll see how that goes. Some more stories on myjoyonline.com. Security on the alert in Bimbila, that is coming from the MCE. And videos of photos 2018 Hits FM rep your Jesse brings Accra to a standstill.
Were you there?
No.
No, you were not. You had your cold then?
Yes, sir.
That was a day before your birthday, right?
Yeah, it was through to Monday morning.
Oh. So you're a Barca fan?
Yes, I support Barcelona.
Right.
The best team in the world.
The best team in the world. Well, Real Madrid just won the Champions League.
We've been a better team than them.
I don't know about the best team. I said Real Madrid just won the champion. You are local champions.
10 seasons we've won 7 La Liga titles. They've won 1, ATL 2.
I'll give it to you.
We are the best Spanish team.
I think so.
In Spain, I mean.
Yeah.
Right in Spain.
Best Spanish. I don't know about the world. You see, world.
But still on my
line. You know, Europe is bigger than Spain.
Certainly. Let's do that online.
It's good that you know your geography very, very well.
It says if you have integrity, Anas will not trap you. So, Kukuba addressed the concern I really raised earlier about.
Because he said that the only thing that would trap him is
apples.
Apple-shaped human beings. They are the only thing that can be used to trap him. But about money, those things.
Nothing.
Only
is
apples.
It same for you?
But it's good that he's not in South Africa because
I'm asking you whether you love apples.
You like apples?
Normal apples.
Do you enjoy eating apples?
Yes.
Do you enjoy eating them? The juicy ones.
What do you guys? What are you talking about?
Apples.
If Kukuba apples? No. No, not that. No. So it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
You sure?
Kofi Tando, good morning to you.
JoyNews is David Ando is Environmental Newsmaker of the Year.
Congratulations to him. We gave our viewers a read over about how he won that award. Doing great work.
Ghana beyond filth.
Changing the landscape of journalism in environmental sanitation and management. We have to be grateful.
Right, let's see if we can go to other news.
Okay, so let's go to City Newsroom. City Newsroom is next, and we have a number of stories also on City Newsroom.
It says lab technicians begin nationwide strike today.
Hey!
That story is being reported. Ask relevant questions. Don't let Esla bamboozle you. Imani to MPs as they prepare to meet the minister tomorrow.
And Ghana's growth must be consistent and not zigzag. This is from Ishmael Yamson. And show value of GVG deal to Ghanaians, and this is Imani to governments.
Every government is against Imani, right? NDC, boy. MPP, boy. And incidentally, when the parties in opposition always love Imani.
It's normal. I mean, when you are
pointing wrongs,
when you're a civil society group, you always have issues.
You incur the wrath of those.
Not those in opposition. I mean, they are not the ones controlling the
and they don't have insight into whatever activities that goes on in government. So, All right.
Northern region residents to face water crisis. If.
Okay, so
Let's
let's scroll up.
There's this one about Ghanaians starting Open UGMC Now campaign on social.
I've seen that. There's one gentleman I follow, or who also follows me also, Kwabne Japan. He started, I think he's a journalist, started this campaign about Open UGMC. I don't know why we have an edifice there. We're told that we have 9, is it departments or theaters that are supposed to be open now. And the warranty periods for the equipment in there, most of them have expired. Sometimes we just waste money. Okay.
I think that should be it for City Newsroom. We can do the BBC now. Spider-Man balcony rescue whilst France. We are told a Malian man who saved a child dangling from a 4th floor Paris balcony has been hailed a hero.
Did you see that video?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I should tag you on Facebook.
It's cool.
It's insane. It's insane. It's like, is that a real human being? It's insane. It's really insane. You should watch it. But in sports, Egyptians furious at Salah injury. Egyptian fans vent their anger on social media after the Liverpool star Mo Salah's injury in the Champions League final. And smugglers shot escaping Libya migrants.
I'm talking about that. I saw somebody said if you want to commit suicide right now, go to Egypt. No, somebody, if you want to be bombed or killed or something, go to Egypt or something. And wear Liverpool, no, and wear Real Madrid shirt with Ramos at the back.
The World Cup is less than a month away.
Yeah, I think today is it 17 days or 17 days?
Very
obviously, you don't expect the Egyptians to be happy.
17 or 18 days.
We don't know for now whether he will recover in time to make it for the tournament. He's such an influential
The Egyptian
player.
FA says that there's no worry. I'm hoping that he can.
He can.
Just a.
And then Uganda bus crash kills at least 22, and some people don't want me. Okay, so that's in sports. And 50 killed as DR Congo boat sinks. And female boxers fighting out of poverty. So those are some videos on the BBC Africa page. Zambia's mobile phone street sellers, while Ethiopia is running out of foreign currency. And is this Africa's first black F1 driver? And another story, I'm cycling through 54 African countries. Do you know how to cycle?
Yeah, I can ride around. I'm not too sure when it's competitive and I have to beat someone to the speed. Maybe I can beat you, maybe Roland, but I'm not sure of the
You can
top
probably
guys.
beat me.
I see.
No, I will beat you.
Yeah, you can probably beat me. I don't know when last I rode a bike.
You know Buzanga?
You know mountain bike?
Yeah.
The Buzanga there. Buzanga is not for racing.
Yeah, sure. Mountain bike. You're able to ride it
faster.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I used to ride. Yeah. When I was young in our neighborhood, we were more or less like the only ones with the bicycles at that time.
So you were
a lot of the kids in the neighborhood, we virtually taught them how to ride.
Oh, okay.
It was a big deal back then. These days, I don't think it is to own a bicycle.
But I bought some bikes for my kids, so they do all the things. They turn around. I'm afraid they stop, but they seem to be okay.
And enjoy
I think it's inspired by the movies and the cartoons and things that they see, so they are not afraid to dare. Yeah. So sometimes you have to leave them to dare. All right, so that'll be it for now. Please get interactive with us. Facebook JoyNews on TV is our regular page on Facebook, of course, and then our JoyNews on TV is our Twitter handle, but you can watch us live each hour of the day, 24/7, on My Joy Online TV is our channel on YouTube. Now we have to take a break. Benedict also is ready with the latest highlights of sports from over the weekend and what we should look forward to during the week. And then after, we're going to have Alhassan Suhini, Member of Parliament for Tamale North, in the studio. He'll be here with Neyi Georganda, a Deputy Minister of Communications, and then Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senior West. Please stay.